The current GC standings at the 2023 Tour de France after Stage 16. Stage 16 was always going to disrupt the general classification of the Tour de France, as Jonas Vingegaard, Jumbo-Visma, and Tadej Pogačar, UAE Team Emirates, could no longer ride in one another's shadow, and there was no disappointment as Vingegaard delivered a stunning defense of the yellow jersey, gaining 138 on the Slovenian. Vingegaard is now 148 ahead of the two-time Tour de France winner, and has cemented his hold on the general classification, entering the last few stages as the heavy favorite to win the Tour de France. Vingegaard crossed the first-time check 16 seconds ahead of Pogačar, in a sign that he was out to stamp his authority on the 2023 Tour. However, the gap stretched to over 1 minute by the third-time check, and it now very much seemed like we were watching a victory parade from the likely winner of the 2023 Tour de France. Carlos Rodriguez, Ineos Grenadier, saw his third place in the overall standings slip away on the ascent to Combloux, as he finished 3:36 down on Vingegaard, and more importantly 24 seconds down on Adam Yates, UAE Team Emirates. While Yates has happily moved into third place, there is truly a yawning gap to the yellow jersey as Yates sits 8:52 down in the general standings. Sepp Kuss held his sixth place in the yellow jersey competition, losing time to the Yates brothers and Pello Bilbao, Bahrain victorious, but gaining on Hindley and losing only 4 seconds to Rodriguez. Kuss is now 12:56 down in the overall standings on his team leader in yellow. Bilbao had an excellent day against the clock, finishing fourth on the stage, gaining substantially on Kuss but just 10 seconds short of taking his sixth place. Simon Yates, Jaco Alula, was perhaps the best performer of the rest of the top 10, finishing in fifth place overall on the stage, 2:58 down on Vingegaard. He and David Gaudu, Groupama FDJ, held their positions as 8th and 9th in the general classification, at a gap of 13:46 and 17:38 respectively, as Felix Gall, AG2R Citroën, usurped Guillaume Martin, Cofidis, in 10th place, to finalize the top 10 of the Tour de France into the final stages of the race. With the margins across the top 10, though, we can be certain that we are beginning to see the shape of the final general classification order for the 2023 Tour de France. Speaking of prizes, click here to find out how much the riders can win during the Tour de France. Yellow jersey, Malo John. The yellow jersey is worn by the overall race leader on the general classification who has completed the stages so far in the lowest accumulated time. Riders accrue points at one of the two intermediate sprints during stages and also at stage finishes, and the man with the most points leads the ranking. Points are handed out to the first riders over certain hills and climbs during the Tour de France, with the hardest mountains giving the most points.